What's up, fight fans? Today's news features Khamzat Chimaev's plans to retire, Daniel Cormier's thoughts on the Chimaev-Till bromance, Islam Makhachev saying he got choked out in tournaments, Alex Pereira blasting Joaquin Buckley, and Max Griffin's intense weight cut. Welcome to Sportskeeda MMA News. Let's get started. The hypest of trains, the big bad wolf of the UFC, the 10-0 Khamzat Chimaev just let fans in on a little secret. He plans to retire on top of the world. In a recent interview, Chimaev talked about his passion for guns, PUBG, and hunting animals, but then gave us a snippet that's reminiscent of Khabib Nurmagomedov's retirement. Khamzat said this: "I did promise that I will retire when I become a legit champion. So, my goal is to be number one, and then I will retire." Chimaev fights Gilbert Burns at UFC 273, and has only the pound-for-pound king Kamaru Usman left in his wake should he emerge victorious. His career saw a meteoric rise since he took back-to-back fights in the span of 10 days in Abu Dhabi, and many fans would don him as the second coming of Khabib. But Khamzat did not like those comparisons then, and he sure doesn't like them now. Khamzat once again addressed those comparisons and said this: "I'm Khamzat. I'm trying to be myself only. I'm not Conor, and I'm not Khabib 2.0. I've been saying that I was studying Khabib a lot. I was studying Conor as well. I try to study all of the best fighters out there, but I'm not trying to copy anyone's personality. I'm being myself, and I feel like that's the only way to be the best. Tattoos and trash talk will never make you Conor. You have to be yourself." Do you think comparing Khamzat to any UFC superstar is unfair? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and while you're at it, consider giving us a follow. Popeye's chicken enthusiast and former UFC double champ Daniel Cormier had a few words to say about Khamzat Chimaev. Recently, news broke that Chimaev was an overwhelming betting favorite in his upcoming fight against Burns, somewhere between the -400 and -600 range. Cormier reacted to this betting line and said this about the fight:
"I think he's the scariest contender we have seen for a while. Maybe he doesn't dominate, but at the end of it, do you think he wins the fight against Gilbert Burns?" And when you're asking yourself that and you say, yeah, I think so, it doesn't matter if the odds are -100, if it's even, it's still just saying that they believe he's going to win. But if you think he's going to win that fight, which a lot of people do, then the odds don't really matter. But I do believe he's the most scary contender we've had for a while because there are just so many unknowns.
Everyone's new favorite duo of Chimaev and UFC middleweight Darren Till have been taking social media by storm recently, but Daniel Cormier thinks that this friendship does not fit with what Chimaev's persona should be. Here's what Cormier had to say:
"I love the whole buddy-buddy thing with Darren Till. I think it's a mistake. I think he should continue to be a mystery to people. I think he should spend as little time in front of the public and showing who he is, pulling the curtain back. I would pull the curtain back as little as I could if I'm Khamzat, just because the mystery is good for him. But yes, he's very scary."
Do you agree with Daniel Cormier? Islam Makhachev recently gave a seminar at Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov's academy. For those who don't know, Abdulmanap was the father of lightweight GOAT Khabib Nurmagomedov, who passed away in 2020 due to COVID-19 complications. Islam was seen demonstrating some of his patented Sambo techniques to MMA practitioners in Dagestan, and then was interviewed about various submissions. Eventually, Islam was asked if he would ever tap to a choke, and his answer might surprise you. It's hard to tell. People are getting put to sleep in chokes, but it can take a toll on you too. I've been choked in training before, and did go to sleep a few times. I've been put to sleep in grappling tournaments as well. I didn't tap then. Everything has consequences. If you tap, you lose. If you're put to sleep, you could have some issues, or maybe not." Islam Makhachev most recently defeated Bobby Green via first-round TKO, and is expected to fight Beneil Dariush in a #1 contender fight. It's safe to say if you're training in damn near the wrestling capital of the world, you're gonna get choked out once or twice. It happens. Especially if you train with Khabib Nurmagomedov, who may or may not be responsible for a few of those chokeouts. That's the price you pay for being one of the most dominant fighters in the UFC. What do you think of Islam's comments? Remember the guy that got that insane viral spinning back kick knockout in 2020? Well, now he's being blasted for allegedly ducking Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is most known for putting Israel Adesanya to sleep in a glory kickboxing bout, but has since racked up 2 wins in the UFC. Now it seems the UFC is doing what they do best, and fast-tracking Pereira to the middleweight throne, and everyone's favorite psychopath Sean Strickland seems to be his next obstacle. However, according to Poatan, which literally translates to stone hand, his path to Adesanya could have gone through Joaquin Buckley. This is what Pereira had to say to Super Lutas: "He was the first. He was the first to run away, you know? He was the first to run. I keep it to myself. When they start to want to promote themselves, then I'll disclose. Then I'll open the game to people. Because a lot of people, when I said around 15 guys, people were very curious. They wanted to know who they are. When they show themselves and talk, then I show who the people who ran from me are. This wasn't the first time Pereira called out a fighter on social media. Before Pereira's fight with Bruno Silva, middleweight Krzysztof Jotko claimed that Pereira ducked him. This is what Pereira said to that. Well, I had never heard of that guy, but my manager mentioned him to me, and we came to the conclusion that he was a totally unremarkable and uninteresting opponent. Why would I fight a guy who only takes part in boring fights? He's a veteran of 30 fights, and isn't even ranked? He would just want to hold on to me the whole time. I want an opponent who can put on a show like me, not a girlfriend. I'm already a married man. And then he comes out and disrespects me, calling me a clown? If I had his fighting style, I would be looking for another job, maybe in the circus. What do you think of Alex Pereira's callouts? And last but not least, UFC welterweight Max Griffin recently gave us an exclusive look into the reality of MMA weight cutting. We've all heard the stories of Chris Cyborg, TJ Dillashaw, Conor McGregor, the list goes on and on. The dehydration process which breaks even the hardest of champions. Griffin's weight cut was no different, and Fight Club decided to give fans an intimate look into how Griffin was able to cut 11 pounds in 12 hours for UFC Columbus. During the process, Griffin was shown to be dizzy at times and grimacing in pain while every drop of moisture was depleted from his body. Funnily enough, he decided to torture himself more by watching Food Network, an appropriate channel during weight cuts. However, in a tender moment, Griffin FaceTimed his son Tyrus, who was said to have given him a much-needed boost during the difficult journey. Griffin eventually made weight, and the process turned out to be a success. But it did not come without its harsh reminders of what these fighters put themselves through to compete in the Octagon. That about does it for Sportskeeda MMA news. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share. Here is one final question for you fight fans. Do you think we will ever see a new weight cut program in the UFC? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Your comments could be featured in the next Sportskeeda MMA news video. For updates, quotes, and even exclusive interviews from all your favorite fighters, follow Sportskeeda MMA on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Thanks for tuning in.